Alien Invaders is definitely my least favorite of the three, but I still quite enjoy it, and I don't feel like it gets the credit that it deserves. It's definitely not as scary or well-paced as the prior two. However, I do think it's very entertaining and has another really good reveal. Nostalgia definitely plays heavily into this one, maybe even more so than the prior two, and I can completely understand why someone would not be a massive fan of this one. Of course, this is Mary Kay Bergman's last time playing Daphne before her death, which is incredibly sad, and she brings it to this one, as always. Getting into the movie, I think the opening is pretty fun. It actually leads to something. It starts in outer space and then gets to Earth and then keeps zooming in more and more until it gets to the satellites, and then Max feels the shock. I've always liked that. Pretty clever and creative. It's also interesting that this one doesn't really have a cold open like the first two do. Instead, we have a fun chase with the fake aliens who are the main villains in the movie, as opposed to just some random villains that get unmasked in the opening scene. Of course, we get the typical music and the typical chase, so all of that is the same, and I enjoy that as much as I always do, but it subverts the trope, which is nice, and we get another fun chase scene in the cave later. Chase scenes are essential for any Scooby-Doo movie, and there is no such thing as too many. Like the previous two Scooby-Doo films, this movie is populated with fun new characters. Lester, in particular, is an absolute blast. I love that crazy old man. He is the guy who is grizzled and has been through some stuff and warns everyone, but nobody wants to believe him. In a way, kind of like Crazy Ralph from Friday the 13th.
I'll bet my teeth on it.
I also quite enjoy the restaurant workers, Dottie and Sergio, voiced by the great Jennifer Hale, coming back once again, and Neil Ross, respectively. And they just give each other a lot of crap, and there are a lot of funny moments between those two characters and between those two. And Lester makes for some good levity. By the way, is there no continuity here? Why is Fred still a skeptic? Did he not just see the real zombies, ghosts, and witches in the last two movies? Come on, my guy, keep up. I think the abduction scene is pretty fun. It starts off a little creepy and then kind of gets goofier as it goes along, running around the room in circles, tug of war with Shaggy, crashing into each other. Classic Scooby-Doo scene. I gotta be honest, I thought the double love story was really well done. Crystal was made for Shaggy. They talk exactly the same, saying groovy and stuff like that. Even the groovy song, the little music video, Daydream, that he has is totally ridiculous and tanks the pacing of the movie. But I don't care. They are so crazy for that, and I love it. It's awesome. But it was honestly really cool and sweet to see Scooby and Shaggy actually in love, and it was really sad when Crystal and Amber had to leave. That always made me sad as a kid. Although I do really love their alien look. They look so cool. I had my mom make shrinky dinks of them back in the day, and I hope they're still around somewhere because I loved those little things. Let's talk about the mystery aspect, because I'm starting to sense a trend here with these Scooby-Doo movies. Max seems like the nicest guy around. Laura seems super nice as well. Steve, who's voiced by Mark Hamill, which is just awesome that they brought him back, is a bit suspicious from the start, but they have another grumpy guy in there in Buck, and he's the guy that you're really suspicious of, just like the gardener and the fisherman from Zombie Island, so they're kind of repeating some of these tropes. I think the problem with this one is you hardly get any time with the potential suspects. You get like 2 scenes with Max, Steve, and Laura, who are the researchers, and Velma is onto them with the muddy shoes, but then they're revealed like a few minutes after that. So that element of the movie was severely lacking. Max, by the way, is voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, who is one of the all-time voice acting greats. He is in so many things and always delivers. But sort of similar to The Witch's Ghost, the mystery of who these fake aliens are was really not all that important. The real twist is that Crystal and Amber are real aliens, which nobody would have seen coming. It does turn the Witch's Ghost formula on its head, though, because in this one, the real monsters, or in this case aliens, are actually good, and the real villains are the fake aliens. The humans are the true villains, which is almost always the case in real life. When I was a kid, I remember getting really scared when they were trying to kill Crystal and Amber with... What the hell is that thing called? Is it a crawler? I don't know. I don't know much about construction.
3 hours later.
Update. I'm told it might be a skid steer. But the ending is very bittersweet. Of course, the good guys win, but Scooby and Shaggy have to watch their loved ones, their one true love, leave forever. And that is very, very sad. Of course, once they get some Scooby snacks, they get over it. But we've never really seen them have genuine connections like this before. As always, there are a few fun little moments in here that I want to mention, such as Scooby's rattlesnake impression. That was really, really good. I honestly had completely forgotten about that by the time I rewatched this movie. The aforementioned restaurant workers giving each other crap, and my personal favorite, Shaggy and Scooby cleaning up, which I think is absolutely hilarious. It's totally ridiculous. They look insane and so different. They look so slick, and you would never see them do anything like this before. That's just how head over heels in love they were with Crystal and Amber. I think Alien Invaders has the most flaws of this trilogy, and it's definitely the worst paced of the three and doesn't have as coherent of a plot structure, but I also have a ton of fun with this one. I can watch it over and over. As I've said about the other two, I really, really enjoy the love story aspect. That, in my opinion, is by far and away the best part of the movie. The reveal in Crystal and Amber were actually aliens is fantastic. There's a lot of fun, nice little moments in there. The actors all do a great job as usual. Not quite as memorable or as scary as the previous two movies, but it's another one that I can watch over and over.